Hello, today's review is on Shazam Fury of the Gods. So, the plot of this movie is after the events of the first movie, when Billy destroys the staff of the wizard, two of the daughters of Atlas, Hespera, played by Helen Mirren, and Calypso, played by Lucy Liu, steal it from a museum and put it back together and retrieve its power again. And they want revenge on the wizard Shazam, who because he killed their father Atlas. So they out to go out to seek their revenge on the wizard and try and kill him while everybody else from the first movie, Billy, Freddy, Darla, Pedro, everybody else returns and they still have their superpowers and they really kind of have a hard time keeping it a secret, of course, and so they go out and try and stop the daughters of Atlas and retrieve the staff and save the day from all the destruction. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was so much fun. Yeah, despite my huge frustrations with the DCEU for the past while, I actually thought this was a really fun time. Heck, dare I say, I honestly liked this more than the first Shazam. Don't get me wrong, I thought the first Shazam was great. I really liked the first one, but this one took like a lot of what made it kind of showed a different aspect of Shazam because the first one was a great origin story. Like it's about just an average kid who then gets superpowers and he kind of experiments with them. Like that's good for a start for this kind of character because obviously you expect it to be kind of a goofy superhero film about him, discovering his superpowers. So it works great as an origin story. This takes a lot of that where Billy he doesn't quite act like a child. So he still does. He kind of is really goofy, but he still feels like a superhero. He just still has a sense of humor, and that's great. This is one of the few instances where turning a superhero comical in a movie actually works because he's a kid, so you feel he's inexperienced with this kind of stuff. And everyone else, I thought, did really good. Everyone from the first returned. Everyone, Mary, Darla, Eugene, Pedro, Freddy, the whole Shazam family returns. That was one of the things I really liked about the first movies when they showed all the kids together and where they all become superheroes and team up. They do that a lot in this movie, and I did really liked it. And they really amped up the story because I guess the first one didn't have the hugest budgets. I think it only had like a 90 or $100 million budget, but this you can tell is better because there's a way bigger scale. It's more effects driven. Like lots of the third act does take place in a city, and you see a dragon. Like obviously you saw it in the trailer. It's not a spoiler, but and the action is really well done. Like it definitely still fits that superhero blockbuster territory, and it's really fun. Everybody has great chemistry with each other, like I said, and it's very funny. Like that's really one of the things that worked with the first Shazam was that it was funny and it's a superhero movie being a comedy that works. Like I said, and Shazam's just a likable character, and that's really why he's an interesting character in the DCEU because it's like being a superhero just from the perspective of a kid, and it really translates into this really interesting realm of how this universe works. And all the three daughters of Atlas, I thought they were really great choices. I thought they all really worked well with each other. Helen Mirren, always good to see her. She's a really good actress. She does great. Never thought she'd be in like a goofy superhero film, but I actually think she definitely looked like she was having fun. Lucy Liu, very good choice for Calypso. I thought when they first announced she was going to be in this one, I was like, wow, that's a great choice. And yeah, she does have a lot of time. And Rachel Zegler plays the other, and I've never seen Rachel Zegler in anything, I don't think, but she is super cute. Like, I sort of like, just look at this. Like, look at that. Is she not adorable? Just look at that. Look at that face. Just, And yeah, I do know she's in that movie West Side Story, which I haven't seen, but I'm definitely probably going to check it out. I hear it's amazing. But yeah, everyone works great with each other. It has like a unique blend of characters, and it really works that like lots of the it's kind of it feels like the first movie a little bit in terms of the tone, but the story is totally different. Like it goes in a completely new direction. It like takes like the tone and kind of humorous, family friendly like charm that the first one had, and just kind of sprinkled it in with a much larger story. And I really liked it, and it was great to see Jimon Hounsou back as the wizard because he's always a good actor. I always like him in a lot of stuff. I think he's a pretty underrated actor, honestly. So it's great. And this probably isn't a spoiler because it was shown in a TV ad, but Gal Gadot appears as Wonder Woman. Just they isn't it sad that the DCU is really dying at this point and it's pretty much just going to be done for and they're kicking everybody out, but just before then they just started to do real cameos in movies instead of just faceless stand-ins. I really don't get what Warner Brothers does. They have the worst management when it comes to making a franchise. When it comes to the DCU, that is, like, I mean, with Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, like, they were great, but the management when it comes to the DCU just and I don't think the DC. I don't know if Gal's gonna return because her cameo got cut from the Flash, and Wonder Woman 3 isn't getting made, so this could be the last time we see her. So I don't know. I really don't. I have like only like 1 or 2% hope for this franchise because I don't even know if I care. I'm sorry if I'm being all negative, but like this was a good film. Don't get me wrong, but it really just feels like I don't know how to feel about this franchise anymore because lots of these movies are just going to feel pointless because they change their plans every single time a movie gets released. It's like they don't respond to criticism well. But that aside, I don't think this will impact the DCU for the next few years. I don't think it's gonna do anything, but I do think it is a good movie. If you're not worried about, connection and what the future holds, if you just want to see a superhero movie as is or just a sequel to Shazam, you'll be really satisfied. And I really had a fun time. Despite my frustrations with how the DCU has been, I do think this was a really fun film and I think it was still worth going to see. I really enjoyed myself. And as someone who likes the character Shazam, I did get into him before the first movie came out. So I think this was a worthy sequel, and I can't recommend it enough. So yeah, Shazam Fury of the Gods, despite that I'm really not optimistic about this franchise, I still thought it was a good film, and I think it was worth seeing on the big screen. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed Shazam Fury of the Gods. I had a very fun time. And for the trailers I got The Flash again. It could be okay. Maybe it won't, but I don't know. Will I see it? I'll probably most likely see it. But like I said, I don't know if I should care about this franchise anymore because they keep changing their plans every freaking year, every month. And this movie's supposed to be the key to the future plans of the DCU. And what plans? They change their plans every time a movie gets released, and their characters get underused. But I mean, well, it is going to be great to see Ben Affleck back, and I know he's going to be in Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. Hopefully, his scene doesn't get deleted there, but I don't know what's going to happen anymore. But I did want a Flash movie ever since I was a kid, before the DCU was even a thing. So, Flash, I'll probably see it. I'm not super optimistic for it, but I'll probably give it a fair shot. Who knows? Maybe it'll be good, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it much anymore. You're like, you know what I mean? I don't mean to be a negative Nelly, but I just don't know how much more I can take of this. But yeah, Flash, I'll probably see it. I don't know if it'll be good, but who knows? It could surprise me. I got Barbie. Do you really think I'm going to see Barbie? I mean, like I said, I think the production design looks great. I love the set pieces and how, colorful and kind of not really cartoony, but kind of over the top the set design is and everything. All the costumes, everything looks like it's a Barbie from a Barbie play set. But that doesn't mean the movie is probably gonna be just because a movie looks good visually doesn't mean it's gonna be a good movie. But I don't know if I'll see this, but this could be another door in the Lost City of Gold where I think it's just gonna be a laughably bad film, but it could end up being okay. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll see Barbie, but I'd be really shocked if this movie ended up being good. It could, but I'm not totally sure. So, because I'm gonna be really pleasantly surprised if I actually see this movie and go like, "Oh, that actually was pretty good." So, yeah, I'm not sold on Barbie. I don't know. I don't think I'll see it, but this probably might not age well. I probably might end up seeing it, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. So. I don't really know about Barbie, but okay. Uh, I got The Little Mermaid. This looks pretty good, actually. Little Mermaid's always been one of my favorite animated movies, and I think it looks pretty good translated in live action. I do really like the underwater setting, and I think visually it looks amazing, and I can't wait to see, what they do with this technology. You and we finally get a look at what Melissa McCarthy looks like as Ursula. And yeah, Melissa McCarthy as Ursula, it's actually not a bad choice in my opinion. And I think she like visually, like I don't know if it's CGI, it's probably makeup, but it looks excellent. So yeah, Little Mermaid, I'll actually give this a fair shot given I really love the original movie, and I think this could have potential to be good. I mean, maybe it might not be good, but I do have hope for it. So this actually could be really enjoyable. So yeah, Little Mermaid, I'm really interested in how this will turn out. I got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I'm really excited for this movie. I I am a big fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I really like what this movie's going for of how the characters are all acting like teenagers because not a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle properties do that. But here they do emphasize the teenage aspect, so it'll be an interesting change for this franchise because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has like so many different interpretations, and this one looks like it'll bring something unique to the table. I mean, the only problem I have with it is the animation. Not that it looks bad, it's just that it's obviously trying to copy Into the Spider-Verse. And like that's not a bad because that's one thing that I'm kind of worried about animated movies these days is so many of them are trying to be like Into the Spider-Verse. Now, the reason I loved the first Into the Spider-Verse's animation style was that it looked like a comic book. It didn't look like any animated movie I've seen before, and it looked very unique from everything else. But now every studio's trying to do it. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish did it, which I guess that does. It's not the worst thing, I guess, because it's trying to look like a story, like an illustrated storybook. So the 2D aesthetic kind of helped. But the bad guys did not need to look like Into the Spider-Verse. If it had a generic animation style, literally nothing about the bad guys would have changed. Like it had no reason to try and look like Into the Spider-Verse. This, I guess I can understand because just like Into the Spider-Verse, this is a superhero movie, so I guess they wanted to bring a comic book style animation to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles this time. And it has a really unique, interesting cast: Jackie Chan, Hannibal Buress, Rose Byrne, Ice Cube, Seth Rogen, John Cena, Paul Rudd. Lots of really big names. But so I'm really interested to see how this is. So I'm pretty excited to see what this will bring to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for this, and I can't wait to see it this summer. And I got Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. This is a new DreamWorks movie, and it actually looks interesting. Speaking of The Little Mermaid, it kind of reminds me of The Little Mermaid in a bit of a way. a teenager who spends life underwater just wants to go to land to see more things and want a normal life, human life, and it looks a little interesting. I do really like the animation, and I don't think I know anybody who's in it, but it looks like it might be a fun film. So I I might look into this once it's out. I think 2023 is honestly looking like a really good year for animated movies. Honestly, it's kind of surprising, but yeah. Nonetheless, Shazam: Fury of the Gods, it's a really fun movie, even if you're really upset about the future of the DCEU like I am, but it's still a good as a standalone experience if you don't want to, spend your time, connecting it to anything else. It's still good as its own movie, or even just as a sequel to Shazam, and I think you'll have a fun time and you'll be satisfied. So, yeah, I actually walked out really satisfied and I had a fun time. So, I'll see you later with whatever else I see or whatever I decide to review next. So, later.